RimWorld is a game about space colonization, building bases, and committing war crimes. So I just knew this would be the perfect game for me. In RimWorld, there's AI storytellers that decide what random events occur. For this, we'll be using Randy Random on Losing is Fun. Now, Randy is essentially God, and unfortunately, God hates us. For a starting location, I picked a mild-temperate forest away from the locals. Of the 3 random colonists, we have Missy the Logger, Yaroslav, and Tony, a neurotic pickpocket who is trigger-happy despite not knowing how to use a gun. And thus, the colonization began. Things started off smoothly. A simple wooden base was set up. The 3 colonists began to do various tasks around the region, like cutting down trees and mining, until one day, a mad raccoon wandered into the base. It was promptly dealt with and disposed of. So things went off to a fairly good start. Oh, freeze frame. There's a part where I shamelessly plug my channel. Please subscribe. A group of homeless people showed up, of which we traded resources with. Afterward, a simple farm was set up on fertile soil and the base was expanded. Eventually, a group of traders from the Central Republic showed up, looking like the Roman fucking Empire. We traded with them for food, and then they went on their way, probably to go build some aqueducts or enslave some Germanic people or something, I don't know. While the colonists were researching how to get pissed drunk to cope with the fact that they'll forever be alone on this small rock in space...
I'm sorry.
A random wanderer appeared. A drug addict named Brewer showed up wanting to join the colony, so I said, sure, what could possibly go wrong? Maybe Brewer still had drugs on her for the other colonists, who knows? For some reason, Brewer was wearing nothing but a white coat, but whatever. Shortly after Brewer's arrival, a space battle began in orbit of the planet, causing falling debris and escape pods to descend down on the planet's surface. This gave me 2 incredible ideas. A bunch of people injured, unable to move. It would be a waste of resources to do nothing with all these people, you might ask. So that's why I tried to harvest their organs and then cannibalize them. It's free food and free money. However, Tony's stupid ass failed every surgery attempt. All that cash down the drain. The colonists did successfully cannibalize some of the crash survivors, which helped quell the whole running out of food problem for a little while. However, and I know this might be surprising to hear, but apparently making normal people eat other humans is actually pretty bad for their mental states. And the colonists began to break down. So the whole cannibalism thing turned Yaroslav berserk, causing him to violently attack Brewer. So he was subdued, then put in a bed to heal. Then soon after, Missy went berserk. Soon after that, it was revealed that Brewer was an enemy spy for the Orange Lagoon Bandits. Brewer was promptly executed for treason. Somehow, amidst all the cannibalized corpses, vomit, blood, dirt, piss, and cum, somehow, Yaroslav and Missy fell in love. What the fuck kind of a love story is this? While Yaroslav and Missy were both half dead in their medical beds, they flirted their way into the bedroom. Okay, then. While they were contemplating which Italian restaurant they wanted to go on a date to, a lot of the prisoners we took started dying of starvation because, I kind of forgot about that. So they were just dropping like flies. So after cleaning up this mess, just kind of, continued on and pretended that nothing ever happened. Great way to cope with stress. Meanwhile, Missy broke down crying and started wandering around aimlessly like a kid lost in a supermarket. Tony tried to hide in her room to get away from the rotting corpses. However, little did she know there are like 2 rooms in this base and there are rotting corpses all over it. Potatoes. After a century, the goddamn potatoes were finally fully grown, allowing the colonists to have a decent amount of food stored for a long while. Maybe if this happened a little bit sooner, there wouldn't have been the whole cannibalism thing, but whatever, that's behind us. Shortly after, an escape pod carrying a woman named Alfred crash-landed, and it decided maybe we do things differently than last time, and this time we tried to enslave her, but unfortunately she died of blood loss. Very sad. Visitors from Erebor wanted to stay at the colony, God knows why. I mean, look at this place. They refused entry until we got guest beds, not because of the whole rotting corpses thing, trust me. Afterwards, I was randomly chilling until a giant forest fire happened. Luckily, it started to rain and that put it out. Shortly after that, Starlet, the colony cat, was mauled to death by a cougar right outside the base. Only more tragedy would follow this event. By follow, I mean literally very soon after, a gigantic raid occurred. You know, I don't know what the colonists did. I don't know if it was the cannibalism, or the attempted slavery, or the attempted organ harvesting, or what, I don't know. But, it seems like people are not happy. And a lot of armed individuals showed up, trying to put an end to this colony. And now I wasn't gonna let that happen. I marched the colonists up to the defensive entrance to the base, and they were prepared for absolutely anything. They would do anything to defend this base. So actually they all died, like, instantly, but that's besides the point. Yeah, that's pretty much it. They're all dead. They're gone. They're dead. So to recap this eventful story, this is a romantic tale of love, drugs, and cannibalism, like all good stories. Yaroslav, Missy, and Tony traveled through the stars to colonize a planet far on the edge of the rim. They set up a modest base and met a new friend to join their ranks. Due to desperate times and a convenient space battle, the four hatched a plan to make use of the crash survivors, but due to the horrific acts they had to commit, their mental states began to decline. And after Brewer was outed as an enemy agent, their spirits shattered. And despite this, the strong pull of the weavings of love held Yaroslav and Missy together, even in spite of these dark times, as love prevailed amongst the looming darkness. It shines through the fog, illuminating the skies. At least until they all fucking died.